George Floyd's death has presented America with a unique opportunity to end racism in policing. Now, I know it sounds like a stretch. However, we see a united America in the protest scenes. Black and white coming together as one, saying no to police brutality. In the following video, a white woman shares her opinion and support for justice for George Floyd. Will her opinion impact the silent majority? Watch, like, subscribe.
This situation, however, has me so bothered, so pissed off. I am trying to not take judgment in my own hands. I am trying to hold on to my religion, as they say, because there's that justice piece that I carry. I have a really strong justice bent. Always have, probably always will. As a kid, used to get in fights constantly, defending the underdog. Never got in a fight like for myself. Always defending. So I have a really strong justice bent. And so watching the video yesterday, I don't give a rat's behind what transpired prior to this cop holding this man down. It does not matter, simply because the fact of what I saw was this man was fully detained and no longer struggling. He was handcuffed, belly down on the freaking ground, and barely breathing, right? Pleading for his life that he couldn't breathe. This police officer, who is trained in, self-defense measures, trained in the ability to detain someone, knew that this person was no longer a threat, that the force that was being used was no longer necessary. I don't care that he got fired. Who cares that these police officers got fired? I want the gosh darn trial to start, because this was straight up, no questions asked, murder. This was murder. This was a lynching of sorts. Whether it was racially motivated or not, I don't care. I don't care if the man was black, if he was Oriental, if he was Hispanic, or he was another white man. What happened was straight up murder. Now, with that said, I am not going to detract from the fact that this was a black man. I don't get the racism thing. So I have been one of the people that have been like, no, this can't be racially motivated. And I hear the black community with, the Black Lives Matter and all this stuff. And I hear them and saying there's so much racism going on. And for people like me that don't have a grid for racism, I don't see it because I don't relate to it. So first of all, forgive me for not having that lens. I don't ever want to have that lens. But I don't also want to detract from my brothers and sisters that are going through hell. And if that is the case, it is going to take every freaking white American to stand up and make a difference. To stand up and say, oh, hell no, not in my country, not on my watch, not in my lifetime. This is going to stop. If this is actually what's going on, that we have black Americans that are literally afraid of law enforcement because this kind of crap is going on, it's not the black Americans' responsibility to stand up and try and change that. If it is rooted in racism, if it is rooted in any kind of white supremacist crap, it is our job to stand up. I will tell you that I have been one that's like, okay, so when there's a Muslim terrorist attack, the Muslims need to stand up and reject those people out of their religion, right? The peaceful, loving, wonderful Muslims need to go, oh, well, hell no, you're not Muslim. Get the hell out. I'm saying the same thing for white people. We need to stand up and look at whoever this is, whether it's law enforcement, whether it's whatever organization of white people, and say, oh, hell no, you are not American. Oh, hell no, you don't embody what we stand for. And oh, hell no, you're not welcome in this country, as far as I'm concerned. I don't know how to fix this problem other than every white American using their peer pressure and saying, this is not okay. And I will say the only thing I can think of that might change this within law enforcement is there needs to be, special circumstances that if a law enforcement officer unduly causes the death of no matter what color the person is, they need to be like prosecuted worse, because they're supposed to have a standard that is far and above beyond any of us, right? They're law enforcement. They should be elevated to a much higher standard and bar than the rest of us. Therefore, in my opinion, they should be prosecuted at a higher standard. In my opinion only. And you guys can disagree. You can say I'm half-cocked. I don't really care. My opinion, those officers need to face the death penalty. Period. I don't know what else would be worse. And I don't mean the death penalty in some cushy prison either. I'm pissed off. If this is what's going on in our country, it's your responsibility and it's my responsibility to put a stop to it. It's not the victim's responsibility to put a stop to it. It's just like this freaking Me Too movement. People need to step in and stop the perpetrators. Don't make the victims have to put a stop to it and be victimized further. The Black community should not be leading this. This needs to be led by the white community. We need to put a stop to this. I'm certainly hoping that there is something on the agenda at the federal government level that's going, okay, enough is a freaking enough. I totally believe in backing the blue. I totally believe in law enforcement and the good men and women that are called to be civil servants that have a heart for humanity and community in general. Totally back them. But those that shouldn't be, those that are tainted, those that have their own agendas, those that are power hungry, those that have polluted the system, they need to be dealt with, and they need to be dealt with harshly.